Alright guys, we're going back to the budget-friendly loadouts, and today I'm going to start it with a nice $10 loadout. Now, I have forgot to put default gloves on. However, you guys like to joke that the dogs look like default gloves, so you may just have to deal with it. Now, USP pick, what's it going to be? We're going to have a nice USP ticket to hell. It is going to be in minimal wear. I know this one is heavily suggested when it comes to the budget options, but it genuinely is just such a nice pick to go for because the value for money is very strong on it. There are some other USPs you could consider, but I do ultimately think in a $10 loadout, this is probably the best option. And it's worth just mentioning quickly, you're not going to have agents in this $10 loadout at all, or the emerald. For the Glock, I'm going to suggest you go for the teal graph from the Overpass collection. This is massively pattern based, but you can get them either red or this sort of nice bluey color. This is pattern 760 for reference, but there's no overpay involved at all at the $1.80. And personally, I think the mostly blue with the little red accents coming through looks pretty cool for a budget skin. And while I didn't intend for this to be lots of new skins, the Desert Eagle is going to be the tilted because it is just now the flat out best value for money budget Desert Eagle in the game. Minimal wear at 165 for this, the new gun model, different pattern on each side, really nice colorway. It is a great skin. It might be a bit of a surprise. I'm going for the AK-47 Crossfade for the AK pick. It's $4 minimal wear. It's not pattern based like I had hoped, but it is offering us something different to those like battle scarred options like the headshot, like the ice cold, like the night wish, and it has some good craft potential. For example, these P and hollows from the Copenhagen Major, I hate the reference spec, are 31 cents each, and you can see that they actually do sort of pair in with the colorway of the Crossfade quite well. So there's a few other like this. So you have some good options craft wise. As I did just mention, if you prefer, you can go for like a rugged battle scarred skin like a night wish. This is a 0.8 float battle scarred one, running about $4.25. I don't dislike it in battle scarred, but I do think the Crossfade is getting you like a better core offering. With yet another new skin, I think the Wash Me Please is just flat out such a nice budget pick now. The fact this is 40 cent minimal wear, and I know it's this sort of brown sandy color, but it gets nice blue accents. It is pattern based as well if you want to go look for something that you think you just prefer, and it still looks pretty good. Maps like Anubis, this skin looks great. Now, what I do think you should do for the M4A4 is pick up a minimal wear edge load, which will run you about $1.27. I know that this goes more bronze than battle scarred, but for starting this loadout, I do actually quite like it in minimal wear. There's no crazy color shift. You're not going to lean into a burn loadout. It's just visually nice, some good artwork. If you want an alternative, you can spend $1.20 on a field tested M4A4 Turbine, which is again one of the newer skins, but you can see when you shoot it in game, it lights up, and that's the only skin in the game that does that right now. Hope to see more of that in the future, but it's super cool. And then finally, we have the AWP Pit Viper. We really don't have much budget for the AWP at all. I think the alternative would have been looking at a capillary, for example, in minimal wear. But what this means is the 7 main skins, which are the 7 you should focus on, it comes out at $10.18 for them. I do personally think there's 3 other weapons you should look at picking up a skin for, so I'm going to cover those now if you want to. First one is an MP9. Here, I think going for a Deadly Poison, 67 cent minimum wear is just a really nice pick. It is a nice grey-black color with green accents. It actually overall is just a pretty nice skin. I think value for money here is solid. I do think then you should be looking at a Mac 10. Now, the good thing here is there's a bunch of nice value for money options for the Mac 10. This is the minimal wear light box. It costs 16 cents. If you want to spend a little bit more, like 60 cent will get you a minimal wear allure. You could also look at getting ensnared, which is also super cheap. There's oceanics. Like, there's so many options you have here. I think Lightbox overall is probably the best option where it's like really low price. And then similar vibes on the P250. Lots of really nice budget options, but I think overall 19 cent for the balance is where it just comes in really strong. So if you were to pick up the MP9, the Mac 10, and the P250 skin, the total loadout cost would become $11.20. So it's a little bit over the 10% buffer that we normally allow ourselves, but I think those are the 3 weapons that either you should be getting with this loadout, or you should then work towards getting the next time you're able to pick up skins. Maybe you get your daily drop, you can sell a case, you can buy a couple of those weapon skins, and that is going to be the $10 loadout. With these lower value budgets, we don't have too much to go through, so all I have to say is I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have, please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button around here. Big thank you to the YouTube members that continue to support the channel. It is greatly appreciated, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.